We don't know anything. We're just a bunch of nerds. But people cannot decide whether or not The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania. One reason I think we're getting a little bit carried away with this is because, as I record this, it's December the 11th. WrestleMania is not till mid-April. And we basically have 4 months and 1 week until we get to WrestleMania. Because everything has been shoved back in 2025. Now, of course, while Dwayne Johnson will be aware of his 2025 commitments, it still kind of feels to me like we are too early out to start making decisions about what could go down at WrestleMania. However, now it seems likely that on the first ever Raw on Netflix on January 6th, not only you get John Cena, but you are also going to get The Rock. That makes all the sense in the world. But even if he isn't factored in for WrestleMania, even if there are moving plates here, you are going to want to have Dwayne Johnson on that show. One, we want to know how big of a star he is outside the wrestling bubble, but two, he has made movies with Netflix. So forget Triple H running him up. I don't know who the hell run Netflix. He is probably ringing up Mr. Johnson's team going, oh, hey man, we'd love to have Dwayne on the show. So he's going to be there. Now, no matter what you want to do at WrestleMania, you can still have The Rock hanging over the damn thing like the sword of Damocles. Because, of course, there's also this idea that maybe eventually we reveal that he was behind the Bloodline 2.0. It's how Tongan going to WWE and how Jacob going to WWE as well. Because, of course, when they first debuted, you had the commentators and Jey Uso being like, we were never going to put them in the ring. They're far too crazy. Whereas both in reality and in the story, The Rock has made it clear that he does work for the board. Ipso facto, put your hands together, and he could be the guy giving Moses Sikoa to run wild and be a crazy man. Now, of course, all of that can then culminate in WrestleMania 41. But what I would say is if you are not sure, and listen, there's loads of stuff out there about this too. You think about all the usual wrestling news sites and news rumors and dirt sheets, whatever you want to call. But I just think everything is in a state of flux like this. When you get to WrestleMania, could we actually do Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes versus The Rock? And I'm going to say you bet your ass you can. Now, of course, getting into wrestling shape is super hard no matter what you want to do. Even if The Rock is going to be in a 42-man tag team match, the cardio and the fitness you need to be a sports entertainer is totally different from everything else. I know sometimes people seem to get a little bit crazy about that, but I can tell you firsthand as somebody does it as getting in shape for wrestling. And even then, sometimes you blow up in the ring because it depends what happened. I had a match of Progress recently, shout out Simon, Progress Pro is champion. You can check all this out on Triller or go to Demand Progress. But it was like a weird gimmick thing when it was like a handicap match, but also a fatal four-way. I was basically taking on a group, you know, a big old tough guy. But as they were working as a unit, I had to break that kayfabe here. I had to self each them, so up, down, the irony of me being up, down. Man, I was on that floor. I was like, can't breathe. Because usually you're selling for one person, and now I'm selling for three. My point is this. If The Rock is about to have a bit of a roller coaster over 2025, there's a bunch of movies, and who knows what else, if you think you're doing a triple threat match rather than a singles, it does take the pressure off just a little bit, but also it puts us in a situation where The Rock isn't getting any younger. I'm sure he gets to his late 50s and still be pretty good. We've seen that before. We've seen it with Sting at 64 years of age, but you never know how body's going to respond to anything. You never know when people are going to pick up injuries. So we kind of feel like we are getting to that do or die part. Just do the match, man. Everyone gets upset about this. Like, oh, I want to see Roman Reigns versus The Rock. I want to see Cody Rhodes versus The Rock. Singles, of course you do. So do I. But I think what I don't want to see, none of it. I don't want to get through 2025. We don't get it. Then we're going to get into 2026. Then we're going to get into 2027. And by that point, the WWE landscape is going to be so different. I'm not even sure it would make any sense. It would still be a draw. And it would still be a marquee match. But you can miss the point with these things. We've seen that time and time again. There's still a bunch of stories that we need to let unravel. How does The Rock feel about Roman Reigns now that he's got a good guy? What the fluff did he give to Cody Rhodes when he was dropping F-bombs on that last Raw he appeared on? And also, is he affiliated with the Bloodline 2.0? So if you want to put a surrogate in The Rock's place, you can do it. I also just think you can come up with this triple threat match. That could main event Sunday, and it's going to be huge. It's going to get people excited. And of course, because it would be a three-way, you can still get a standoff between Roman Reigns and The Rock, which I think now a lot of people are leaning towards. Because of course we've kind of seen Cody versus The Rock. We've had some interactions there. Whereas the longer life leads on, whatever the hell that means, I think people start to realise, well, we meant to get The Rock versus Roman Reigns last year or this year, as I am talking to you. If you don't get it next year, what are we going to do? Now, I would actually lean in favour of doing The Rock versus Cody Rhodes, but that's me assuming that The Rock can do 2 appearances in 2025. Because if SummerSlam's going to be a 2-night event, which it is, by the way, TKO did their big conference call the other day. Royal Rumble is definitely going to be 2 nights soon, and the Survivor Series, so you're going to get men's Rumble one night and women's one, and the same with the War Games. That's neither here nor there. But if you could do that in Dream World, you do the Cody match at WrestleMania, you do the Rock Roman match, SummerSlam, and you establish SummerSlam as hot WrestleMania, and there's no looking back, and you're not falling into this trap. Oh man, we missed the opportunity. But this doesn't mean just wildly throwing things out there. Every now and then these reports do come up. It's just to me that people are still talking, and nobody's actually said The Rock is not going to be at WrestleMania. Also, who's telling these people, right? I'm sure there are people in WWE that feel like it's not going to happen because they haven't been lined up to be, or smart up to, I should say. If you're The Rock, you're probably talking to Triple H, you're probably talking to Brian Gewirtz, and you're probably talking to Nick Khan. That's it. And I don't think those people are going to let out what their WrestleMania plans are. This also ties to the fact that the boo from Wrestle Purists kind of hinted that there might be some, I don't even know what the right word would be. What is the right term? Some political shenanigans happening behind the scenes. Now, that's nothing new in pro wrestling. There are many ways to do that. You have the Hulk Hogan way, which is absolutely terrible. Some people would just put ideas forward that they deem to be better and that also benefit them. That's a very pro wrestling thing. But that means everything is in a state of flux. And do you not actually think that CM Punk is trying to get one of those WrestleMania main event spots? Of course he is. He doesn't hide that. That should be some kind of, oh, what are you talking about? Punk has made it clear one of the reasons he left back in 2014 is made up now. Is but the Miz headline WrestleMania and he hadn't, and he didn't think that was fair. So he's going to be doing it. So Rollins is going to be doing it. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes is going to be doing it. Roman Reigns is going to be doing it. Rock's going to be doing it, and so on and so forth. So that makes it more difficult as well because you have other people that are vying for that spot. So as far as I'm concerned, I think when you take everything and you put it in a big packet, The Rock versus Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns is not the worst idea in the world, especially because it leads to the question: who wins that? Who wins that match? It's so absolutely crazy. This is when you can bring something else into the fold too. It also seems like on that big Netflix thing, a big show, we are going to do CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Hence why we are sparking up that build now. Now, as soon as I heard this, I was like, that's a great idea. Because again, trying to stretch out to WrestleMania feels like we're going to have to go through quite a crazy old roller coaster. Whereas if you are going to do it in 3 weeks, not only are you telling people you should watch that Netflix show, but man, I just want this stuff. I just don't care where it does happen. It has more allure if it is on WrestleMania. But what if I get hit by a bus in February? Then we're never going to be able to see it. Whereas if you do it in January, I can avoid the roads. I get to see CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. And then once again, when you remember how much longer we have to go here, we've already put into play that Roman Reigns and CM Punk have to meet. We need to find out about this favour. So is it on paper that we're going to do Cody Rhodes versus The Rock? Because CM Punk versus Roman Reigns is happening at WrestleMania. I don't think either one of them will get the World Heavyweight Championship, but I also think you may have one of those scenarios, given the political power, given people trying to do their manoeuvring, that you could headline night one with Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, and nobody is going to mind, especially for that same show. You'll probably do good versus John Cena for that world title. But John Cena's the company guy. He would, well, I could go either way. He would either make sure that he was the last match, or probably I'll be match 4. I don't care, or probably match 1. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many moving parts, there's so many things we can do. And I think that it's a coincidence that all of a sudden CM Punk was teaming with Roman Reigns. I think we can put that in our back pocket to do something with it. And that's why I think WrestleMania 41 could be fantastic. And WrestleMania 41 was pretty damn brilliant when you do go back. But The Rock will be involved, even if it's just like a talking voice from the sky. It was in the sky, if you will. Roman Reigns, obviously. Cody Rhodes, obviously. CM Punk, obviously. Seth Rollins. You think the Roman CM Punk stuff, then you've got the stuff with Kevin Owens, what's going on with that? He mentioned Sami Zayn's name the other day. Then you've got the Goldfish, you've got the Jey Usos of the world. You're going to have people come back like Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, I would imagine, by WrestleMania 2. It's absolutely nuts. It's absolutely out of control. But I think that's probably why WWE can get through the entire year and continue on their hot streak, because they just have so much they can lean into, and that's what makes it such an exciting, and like I say, such a hot product. So I see some people poo-poo this, and they go, the Wood just versus Cody versus Roman. I'm pretty sure the hype package they can get across, the story they can deliver to you, would be so good. Again, who wins that? We don't think The Rock's going to win that. But if you put a gun to my head, I still convinced The Rock's going to turn up at the Royal Rumble and win that thing. Now again, it all depends whether it is factored in. But even if he's not, he's just turned up in the bloodline, I should say, and wiggled his fingers around. So maybe he wins the Royal Rumble and is the first guy to enter that and actually compete at WrestleMania when there was no injuries involved. So we do wait and see. But I think the fact that you can sit down and fantasy book to this degree should be something that we're excited about, and not something that we're all like, oh, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see that. I don't think WWE can miss. Even if they did Roman Reigns versus, I don't know, Austin Theory, which sounds nuts, I don't think this brand new WWE would do that unless they were 100% sure that this idea of that story is going to culminate on this day, which also means you'll probably buy into it as well. I mean, people still think we may do Jacob 2 versus Roman Reigns, or Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That one feels more distant to me, which is no disrespect to Jacob versus Solo, but on that stage, I think you evaporate all the jeopardy from the match, because ain't no way Roman Reigns is losing at WrestleMania 40 and then losing to someone who is on the up and up, right? I love Solo Sikoa, I really love Solo Sikoa, and I really love Jacob for 2, but they are upper mid-card talents who again are trying to cement their futures, I suppose, in order to get to the same spot. That's just what I think, especially when you go back to the rumors of WrestleMania 39, when Cody was going to finish the story, and then Roman was like, how about we wait a year? And again, we don't know if that's true, we don't know if it's not true, and also, in hindsight, waiting an extra 12 months and having Cody win at WrestleMania 40 may have made it even bigger, so maybe Roman was doing it for the greater good. Once again, you're just going to have to come up with that in your own brains. But I think that it means from that Raw onwards, and probably outside our main event, because once again, more speculation that we're going to do a massive title change there. That came out, please let me get Owens, even for a few weeks, I don't care, I need it in my life. But I don't think whatever you're expecting for WrestleMania 41 is entirely going to be the pathway, and that's a good thing, because we want to try and figure it out, and that's half the fun of being a wrestling fan. But we can be surprised the right way. I think it's more beneficial for all of us. So yes, I am going to say that the triple threat match is probably the most likely of the three. Of course, an absolute idiot, and I have no idea. Now, listen, you're going to have loads of thoughts there. You maybe have a WrestleMania 41 card in your head, so make sure to drop it in. There's also a link down there for Simon Wrestling Awards.